Yeah. Okay,
I think
our
you just
recording
have
is in
to click
progress.
hold. Yeah.
Yes. The week two, I don't know if you can see this. It is the
Two.
charge. It was hard
Is
to
it the?
find. It's a handout. Um,
It's from week two.
it's in week two. Yep. Okay, hold on. Let me go in there and I will help you find it. I
Thank
found
you.
it difficult to also find, and I stumbled on it actually. And I don't know if any of you are like me, but I found everything is all linked together and completely confusing.
Mm-hmm.
I wished it was more just set out like this instead of link over here and then link over here, and somehow they all web together. So I did find that if you go under, let's see, whoops, charge theoretical perspectives, I think is where it is.
Okay.
And and yeah, right there on number 5, it
Aha,
says
there it is.
download week two charge theoretical perspectives. If you
Yep, I got
download
it.
that,
Yep.
okay. But I agree with you. I did not find it easy to find because it's
Yeah.
called one thing in her talks and stuff, but you find it in another headache. And
Mm-hmm.
so like I said, stumbled upon it and went, oh,
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Well, I'm
Um,
glad you stumbled on it because
yeah.
I could not find it.
Um, and so we are recording right now. So thank you for reminding me. I did not have that recording. And so that's what I'm going to be. If you guys don't have this, I printed it off, but if you can refer to it, that's kind of what I'm going down. I think one of the first things we should do is introduce ourselves just real briefly. I think it'll help. My name is Johnny Eames. I live in Washington State. I live about 30 minutes north of Seattle. I am a mother of 5. All of them have left the home except for one, but she technically is old enough to leave the house. She's attending college here locally. All the other 4 have already graduated from college, and I'm finally gone back to school to get my degree. I should graduate in April. I also have my 4th grandbaby. She's going in for a C-section tomorrow morning, so it's very exciting at
Exciting.
our house. I am a professional studies major, and after 30 years went back to school. And like I said, I'll be finished. So anyway, let's go. Carly, do you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Carly. I live in Canada. I'm in Alberta, um, about an hour and a half from the border with Montana. I have 4 kids. I'm married. We have our 15th wedding anniversary coming up next week. So we're excited to go out and eat without kids. Um, I work full time, which is kind of new for me. I just started in the fall, but it's good. I'm using my degree that I'm working on, which is applied health. So I teach health classes, do a lot of work with mental health, um, and children and students. And what else about me? I think that's about it. Yeah.
Is it Lily? Do you go by Lily?
Yes, I'm a
Okay. Do you
Lily,
want?
but you can call me Lily. I'm from Guatemala City, um,
Okay.
based, but my husband and I met and married in Guatemala, and then he's from the States, so we've been living here 16 years ago. And I also decided to go back to school 2021 and have been going through applied health. So I had Carly in another class. Hi, Carly.
Yeah. I've been racking my brains trying to think what class it was. Do you remember?
No, I don't, but it's
There's been too many.
we haven't dropped the towel yet. We're still going.
Still in
I
it.
I have 4 kids, ages 21 to 10, and so they're all living at home because my daughter who went to college came back and is working at the local school here, and I'm also working at the local school. helping with the migrant children. But what I am majoring in is also in applied health, and I don't know if I'm gonna go straight to work in applied health or if I'm gonna do another year of working at the school and then kind of migrate out. But it's been interesting to see everything that we can learn from these courses. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Something else, my parents are both converts, and all of 4 children in our family serve missions and have married. Well, the girls, my sister and I married return missionaries. They're all sealed. We're all sealed in the temple and still active. So life's good.
That's awesome. Sorry about that. Ah, sorry. That's great. Eric, you want to share? Barely, we can barely hear you. I can't. Can you guys hear him?
It's a bit muffled.
Yeah. I'm still not hearing any. It's very, we're just getting very small pieces and we can't put it together. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
One year my audio files were wrong, so people couldn't hear me. I could hear them, but maybe that's it. Maybe your audio needs to come through your computer, or if you have a headset.
You know, sometimes I had to go through, yeah, the audio. If you click on the audio, sometimes it gives you some options.
Is it better like this?
That's a little
A
better.
little better, yeah.
Yeah, try doing that.
Like that?
Let's try it.
One, two, 1, 2.
Okay.
That's better.
Yes.
I can hear you though.
Oh, you can't hear us? Oh, how funny.
That's funny.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Well, we can hear you. Well, he's connecting right there. Let's share a takeaway or a nugget that we liked. I need to pull up my
Primer.
yeah. I
Yeah.
guess one of the things I found yeah, my primer. I I found it interesting about the Oprah Winfrey show and just that whole idea of how to motivate kids without the reward, that the reward was actually having it happen. Um, I'm like, wow, we've done some of that, and of course we've rewarded also, but it
Uh-oh, I lost her.
was a good nugget. Did you? I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Oh, I think she's frozen. Lily's frozen.
Yeah, she is.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead and try it. We'll listen real hard.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Oh, that's better.
Okay, that's weird. It's getting confusing between the speakerphone and the microphone.
Okay, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Eric?
Uh, I'm barely hearing you.
Here,
You can hear me? Okay,
Yes.
I can introduce myself anyway. I think I'm the only French native speaking here. Uh, that's funny because I'm having issues with computer right now, but I'm an IT advisor. So normally I fix issues like that. But I'm sorry. I got 8 kids and two grandchildren. Studying psychology because I want to help couples succeed in life. So that's basically it. And also,
Okay, I didn't get all of that. Did you guys get all of it or most of it? It might be me.
I heard uh grandkids, I think I heard about in there. Maybe not. I don't know.
Is he frozen? Oh, no, he's not.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Eric, we might have you type out your answers. If we, yeah, keep going. Anyway, that was one nugget. Somebody else want to share a nugget they had?
I'll say that
okay, go ahead.
um happiness comes from a sense of belonging to a community, but people also get manipulated, um, and polarized to create conflict, like they say the KKK, right? Or when you have such an exclusive fence community that you're completely ostracized from the world. So it has its pros and its cons, and we just need to be very vigilant how we are portraying ourselves and how our head is, thinking, so that we don't go to the extremes.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Carly?
I was just really excited, just about Bronfenbrenner's like theory, especially like the context part of it. Um, I don't know, it's kind of nerdy of me. I've really enjoyed the classes, like we're talking about family theories. Like I get really excited to talk about theories because I'm like, oh, that's just like it makes sense to me. So I really loved the context area where it talked about the individual and then the different systems, the microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, macro system, and kind of how those work together. And then the cherry on top was obviously the added chronosystem to just make it a little more complicated and hard to understand. Um, but I like it because it just kind of clicked and made sense in my mind. Yeah, so I was just kind of excited to see a new theory this week and kind of picture myself in there, and also interesting going through the personal, what was it called? The personal thing where you had to write about yourself and how you grew up and stuff. I found that was really eye-opening and cool to visualize myself in this theory.
Yeah, I do not share your enthusiasm.
That's understandable.
This is my first family class like this. I'm a business person, and so it has been hard to wrap my head around all of the theories and systems and interconnections. It was overwhelming. So I am at your mercy. I'm ready to learn.
Well, I don't know much. I don't know because before starting this degree, and I've had like had to take a few family courses and a lot of public health courses where we talk about theories and stuff, and it is overwhelming at first, but now there's something about theories that are comforting to me, so I don't know.
Nice.
It's
Eric,
random.
did you want to share a tidbit that you took away this week?
yeah, can you hear?
Yes.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you. That's good.
Oh,
Yay.
yes.
That was a lot here. Yeah, going to
Wait,
chat it. Tell it in the chat, but that's fine. Uh, you talked about the context, the I context and the low
Yeah.
context.
Mm.
So that was one of the things that I understood. I think I understood well, but I'm not too sure about it. Um, so high context would be uh, at the level of you're caring about the person and not the plan. And if the plan is like that, we're not changing anything, and we don't care about what you think, but we're just communicating on. It's well understood. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, we in some of my business classes, they've talked about that very thing, but in the cross cultures, um, that we as Americans, we go in it, we're ready for the kill. We are all about the win. And and yet you go into like Brazil or China and they are not about to be manipulated by the Americans. And you got to try to read their body language and it's all about the relationship and stuff. And so, yeah, that high and low context definitely does play into it. Okay, so the next is, um, how do you say his name? Bronfenbrenner?
Yep,
Did
I
I
got a
say?
hard
Bronfenbrenner.
time too.
Yeah,
Not
Bronfenbrenner.
easy.
Yeah, how does his biological systems theory capture the contributions and interactions between nature and nurture? What are the key concepts to understanding the theory? Carly, what do you got for us?
Oh no, I shouldn't have said anything. Um, I'm just getting myself set up to like take like your guys' notes and stuff. So just so that I'm organized here. Um, so pull up all my other notes and stuff. So how does Bronfenbrenner's biological
In other words,
so
what's the difference in between nature and nurture?
yeah, so nature is obviously the things that you are born with, so like your sex, your age, your health status, the things that your
Genetics.
genetics, yeah, all those things that come naturally to you, and then nurture would be the microsystem that you're born into, so your family, whatever that might look like, different for everybody. And then it's all of those um, little, I don't know, I think of them as like pods. So the schools that you go to, your church group, um, those other little pods that are just outside of your family, but are still quite close. So I guess that's how I see them as different. What about you guys? Did you have any other ideas?
No, I think you're right on the money. I was really appreciative to answer the questions and go through the paper on a personal level. That was very helpful in understanding everything. But yeah, anybody else have something they want to add?
Yeah, I would go the same way. I think nurture is more like loving, like caregiver. And like Carly just said, it could be a school, it could be a teacher that is really nice to you and just caring about the person. And nature is more like biological, it's more physically. So
Yeah, what you're born with,
yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly.
What you're born with.
So
All
you
right.
cannot change that really much. Yeah. Nurture, you can change it, but not nature.
Yeah, nature is, yeah, that's how you came. Um, in Bronfenbrenner's biological model, what is the difference between the exosystem and the microsystem?
Did we answer this question in our, we did, didn't we, in
I
our
I I think we
primers?
did, and I don't have my primer in front of me. I need to get my primer.
I've got mine.
What is the difference between the exosystem and the macrosystem? What I wrote was the exosystem describes events that have important indirect influence on development. And the example that they gave in the book, I just copied what it says in the book. For example, a parent consistently working late. Macrosystem is a feature of any group, culture, or subculture that shares values and belief systems.
Mhm. Yeah, so
Yeah.
what I wrote was that the exosystem is the mo in this model is made up of broader social systems, such as friends of the family, neighbors, mass media, work. Um, so these are areas that the individual um, isn't always well, I guess they are. They're involved and they have an effect on them, whereas the macro system is the larger cultural, societal, and political areas that influence all the other systems. So things like attitudes, ideologies, laws, and customs that have an effect on the individual.
Yeah, um, I, did some extra looking up and for me, and it was helpful to go, okay, the exosystem is the indirect influences like a parent's workplace, like that influences you, but very indirectly. Whereas the macro system was, like you said, all the cultural and the norms and, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, the
It's
next,
what your family doesn't see. So when you come back home, they're kind of you might be frustrated or really happy, but they don't have influence on your family. So like you said, it's from your place or could be at the airport or something like that. I just shared a link on YouTube and it explains all the different layers.
okay.
So if you want to look after the meeting, if you want to look at it, it helped me a lot. So
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next one is according to Macmillan and Chavis article, Sense of Community, a definition and theory, what are the four specific things that you could do to foster deeper sense of community in yourself or others? Let's see. Well, and I have strengthening membership, encouraging influence, fulfilling needs, and building emotional connections. And so the question is, things you can do to foster a deeper sense of community in yourself or others. We had something happen this summer that it just kind of happened. It's so funny because it goes right along with this. Um, my son graduated from BYUI in July, and he says, "Mom and Dad, I'm going to be coming home for 6 weeks before I head out to my big boy job. And is there anything you want done around the house?" And we said, "Yes, we need to replace our fence." And we knew our next door neighbor, and she'd been wanting to get the fence replaced. So we connected with the next door neighbor and said, "Hey, our son's coming. He's willing to replace the fence." But we had to get permission to replace it with the other neighbors all around us. So what happened is, by the way, we didn't know any of our neighbors very well. We've lived here, 6 years and didn't know our neighbors very well at all. They were like, "Oh, you're replacing the fence? Well, can he replace my fence?" And then from there went, "Can he replace my fence?" And so in the 6 week period, Jared ended up replacing 5 properties. And what happened is, because we were trying to do it on the cheap, none of them are members of the church. Um, is it brought us out and bonded us like no other. Our fences were down. We were taking them down. We were painting them. We were helping putting back up, buying supplies, just, getting the drinks and the water and just really being a part. Like, it seriously was like a barn building moment back in the golden days. And as I was reading all this, I'm like, that's exactly what happened. Is we felt so unified. It totally took down barriers that we have had, private barriers, without meaning to have them. We know each other by first name now. We know things about our kids, and we get out and we say hello and share food and everything. Uh-oh. Let's see.
You're good.
That's going to be okay if did you guys see that little note that came up about,
no,
it may end us on us in 10 minutes. Just click back in to Zoom because it only lets me do it for 45 minutes through
oh, it's your
BYUI,
personal
but
Zoom,
this
right?
is supposed to be an hour. So I guess we'll just click back in. But anyway, all I was saying is that it built that emotional connection. It did all those things that and we lived it. So it was kind of a cool experience. Anybody else want to add to that?
No, I think that's a really good example and really cool that you just have this experience like
Yeah.
recently and then you take this class and it's like,
I-
oh, yeah, I
Imagine that, it
see.
actually
Yeah.
works. Let's see. As a group, use the personal ecological assessment to share examples of biological characteristics and environmental systems that have interacted to shape your socialization. Whew, those are a lot of big words. Personal ecological assessment. What's, I don't know what that is. Does anybody know?
That was the big page that you had to fill with 20 some questions.
Okay, I did that. Okay,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
the same thing. Okay. It says share examples of biological characteristics, and environmental systems that have interacted to shape your socialization.
Well, I'll go first. In Guatemala, people are very friendly and people are very open and you very close. So open meaning that you can talk to anybody even though you don't know their names, right? Or you don't know who they are. You wouldn't feel bad if somebody just comes up and starts chatting with you. And then if you know this person, you always close in and hug and a kiss to say hello and goodbye. And every meeting. So if you go to a meeting with 15 people, you go one by one and greet them personally. And it's a very important thing for me to teach my children also to be more, not to be so cold, to say hi and not even come. But now that I work at the school, it's very interesting because some of the kids will come up and just hug me from the side or the back, and they just they just feel so close, right? So it depends how we are socialized, what's acceptable and what's not in the different societies. But I think we can always take, what we think it's good or important from one culture and adapt it to another.
Yeah, I like that. Anybody else want to add or share experience?
I can share a little bit of what I kind of my experiences. Um, so one of my biological characteristics is I'm a very shy person, I'm very quiet. Don't like groups. I don't like I like to be with my people. Um, and when I was 7, we moved to the UK and we were very much the odd people out. We had a different accent. We didn't know the language. Um, we were also members of the church, which was like, what? Like unheard of where we moved to. And so a lot, the environmental systems there, um, to the town where we moved to it was a very outgoing town. It was everybody knows everybody. And it was really difficult for me, um, as a naturally shy person to be thrown into those environmental systems where people are a lot more open and they're um and I think the town we lived in was kind of an outlier because the like British people are known for being the more private, but our like there was 300 people in the village, so there was like no privacy. So and I think that like I see my dad's very outgoing, but my mom is very similar to me. And so it's been interesting to think back and see how much she was kind of forced to change. Still has that biological characteristic, obviously, but how much she had to take that step out of her comfort zone and how much I also had to. Um, and I like to think that it helped me when I moved back here to be a little bit more outgoing and stuff. But then COVID hit and we were all inside and I'm back to my no groups stuff.
Yeah. Breaking down the barriers is definitely a difficult one. Eric, do you have anything you
Mhm.
want to share?
I got a really different life. I was very young. Can you hear me?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very young, so I didn't know much my parents, and they were actually fighting to get me. So the police would be always in between both of them. And one day my mom would wake up and not finding me myself. And she would call the police, and then they found me at my dad's place. And the inverse was true also. I was like just a child that was moved on from one family to another. And um, it was not easy, but I was a shy person like Carly was. Uh, I was a little stressed out. Actually, at 15 years old, I had an ulcer on my stomach. I had 24 hours left to live. But the doctors told me that I had to express myself more. Like Carly said, when we're shy, we're afraid of expressing ourselves. And I was not saying a word. I was always like really. And today people would look at me and would say, "You speak a lot." But that helped me out to enjoy sharing with people, and especially when I'm at the church. So at the age of 11 or 12, my mother and I, we would go into a van in the 70s and would go like visit every church like Joseph Smith has done. So, and my gift was like, I was asking my mother to buy me the Bible illustrated from that church and another from another religion. And I would go like that. And so I became a person with a lot of empathy towards others and also genuine. So that what that's basically what happened for me. I became interested into people.
Wow, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. I grew up, like Carly mentioned, I grew up in a small town. I had a high school of 400 students. Everybody knew everyone. My dad was the city prosecutor, so
Oh,
they all definitely knew my dad. Well, in most of the good ways, but some had to go to court in front of him when they did bad behavior. But so all of that impacted my growing up. I was always outgoing. Um, and so, but I was also insecure. So outgoing, but insecure. I think all teenagers are insecure, but anyway, it's interesting to hear everybody's dynamics and things that have helped shape us and who we are today. Okay, if time remains, reflect upon the questions below and make any notes that will help add to your Zoom discussion this week. You need not address all the questions, but write a response to the three most important. Oh, okay. Um,
Um, I don't know about you guys, but I really liked thinking about the first question there. How has the socialization of children changed? If it has, have we lengthened childhood or shortened it? My response to that one on my paper was that I think that we have shortened it. I think back to when I was a kid. I was a turnkey kid once we moved to the UK. My parents both had to go to work, and I would get home from school at 3:30 and be home with my younger brother, sometimes my older sister, until about 5. Like there was a couple of hours that we were home alone, left fending for ourselves. Um, but back then we spent so much more time outside. I would come home, have a snack, maybe watch a 20-minute show, and then I was out of the house until it got dark.